So, does that put the issue to rest for those who fought against Sikh extremism in Canada? Joining me now from New Delhi is former Premier of British Columbia, Thu Ujjal DOSANJH. I'm very grateful for you staying up late for us, Mr. DOSANJH. I want to ask you, first of all, for your response to this latest development that Jagmeet Singh now says that he accepts the official findings that Talwinda Parmar was indeed responsible for the Air India bombing, and further, he agrees that the display of martyr posters of Mr. Parmar are not appropriate. Has he done the right thing, do you think?
Well, on both counts, I think he's done the right thing. Better late than never. Never look a gift horse in the mouth. If he's doing the right thing, I want to commend him for doing that. But I also understand that he says that he'll still continue to do outreach to places or processions where these posters might hang on the floats or in the temples. That would be wonderful if you would go there and educate people about these issues rather than just go there and remain silent about that issue. But it's important, if you want to be the Prime Minister of a country that is looking to build a peaceful, prosperous, harmonious, and egalitarian society, which has distinct separation between church and state. I'm glad that he has decided that it's important for him to dissociate himself from the violent posters.
Do you remain concerned that it took him 4 months to get to this point? Do you think that he should have made all of this clear upon taking the leadership of the NDP? Or do you think he can safely put this behind him? It will no longer be a political problem for him?
Well, I wish he had done so right from the beginning, but he obviously has grown up in the grievance politics. I've looked at many of his videos and many of his statements, and he has grown up sort of knee-deep or neck-deep in the grievance politics post-1984. I don't blame him. He didn't grow up in India. I did. I know the realities on the ground. I know that both Bhindranwale and his associates and the government were all to blame. I say blame on all their houses for what happened in 1984. But he ought to be a quick study on these issues, and they proved not to be. And that's a worrying sign. But as I said, better late than never.
Are you concerned also about the recent emergence of some more videotape in which Jagmeet Singh appears to speak against you, suggesting that you are somehow against the Sikh community? Are you concerned that such comments target you because you so often speak out against extremism and against violence?
Well, I believe that that's the only reason he would target me or has targeted me in the past. I actually just learned about those things in the last 3 or 4 weeks. I didn't know that he had said anything about me. But it makes sense, because many of the Khalistanis and separatists and those that supported violence, and I don't say he supports any of those, but many of those that disagreed with me regarded me not as a Sikh. I grew up in India. My grandfather went to jail for fighting for the independence of India for many, many years. I grew up in a secular home where Sikhism was important, where secularism was important too. So I guess I'm cut from a different cloth. And I don't mind him or others accusing me of whatever they accuse me of. I believe that Canada, we live in Canada. I believe Canada is a secular state. There is a separation of church and state, and that's a fundamental principle. And I saw one of the videos where Mr. Singh, plays into this Sikh superiority angle preached by someone else on the same stage, or that violence is okay. He should dissociate himself from this Sikh superiority angle. We're all the same. No one is superior as a class or as a people from the other. And there is this element amongst some people, amongst the Sikhs, that somehow we are the chosen people. I know that, in the countries around the world, all people believe they're the chosen people. But ultimately, we're all equal.
One last question, if I may, and that is whether you think that this development today, Mr. Singh's comments, represent a turning of the page somehow. You've been in the middle of this story for the last 30 years or so. Do you think that now it's no longer respectable in Canadian politics to go to temples where they're displaying these martyr posters and they just smile and wave, and now that's become more radioactive?
Well, you know, I hope they become radioactive, to use your term. I hope that people have changed. I hope all of the politicians, including Mr. Jagmeet Singh, have learned a lesson that you can only go on doing this kind of thing for so long that ultimately the reality and the truth catches up with you, that we got to make sure that we don't do nudge, nudge, and wink, wink to these issues that are dangerous to the polity of Canada.
Ujjal DOSANJH, thank you again for staying up late, sir. Appreciate your time. Thanks for this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.